Woohoo! Hello, the YouTubes. This morning is a kale hat day. Kale hat. Mama had things to do besides wash her hair. Don't know if you can relate to that or not. We are waiting on Auntie Kirka to join us. Today we're going to be talking about healing. There we go. Sorry, hear me in the background. That delay. Anyway. Here she comes, Auntie Kirka.
Hi, I'm still on a beach.
Hello, we are recording and live on the YouTubes.
Hello.
Just about to say I'm watering up because detox starts tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And even this wasn't coffee. Wasn't even decaf.
Mine is coffee this morning. And it's not decaf.
Day 2,
But
no coffee. Day 2, no coffee.
So, yeah.
Baby steps. Baby steps, baby steps.
Yeah. Baby steps, and, one step forward is still a step forward. And my step may be the same, a different length as yours.
Yeah. Well, your legs are longer, so.
This is true. See, everybody's steps are a little bit different. So, but yes, I do have coffee in my cup this morning. My new cup. It's not going to work. Not with the background, but it kind of matches the beach background, which apparently I still have on. So it worked. It worked.
That's okay. I'll meet you at the beach.
It's just so the light so bright.
And on my toes. Oh, yeah.
I'm dying for water, beach,
cruise. Yeah, yeah. Because even though we were in Maine, on the coast, there was still not enough water in that vacation for me. So
better. Nope, that's not better. Sorry. Well, it's just so bright today for some reason that it's just really super bright on my face. But when I turn this extra light off, then I lost my hair. Like I look like one of those cutouts. Yeah. So we'll go with this. This will be fine. I'll just be ultra lit.
Yeah, it's all right. My closet door's open, so y'all get to see the glare from the window and my.
I don't even know what you would see behind me.
All good, all good.
But it just goes to show you we're just two moms.
Yep.
Just chatting on a Sunday morning over coffee, or not coffee, or water, whatever we choose to have that morning. Whatever we have that morning.
Big girls, and we can choose what we put in our cup.
Exactly. Sometimes it is smoothies. Sometimes it's water. Sometimes. I don't think it's been anything harder than that, because it is like, for me, it is 8 o'clock on a Sunday morning. Mine is usually coffee.
Although,
even in a hotel.
Yeah, Bellini on the beach wouldn't hurt my feelings.
Bellini's has peach. Not a big fan of Bellini. Mimosa on the beach. I could go for that. I would not turn that down, that's for sure.
Yeah.
We're even right now planning the teenager's Sweet 16 trip. She'll be 15 this year, so 16 next fall. But trying to plan for spring break to celebrate the following year. And it's getting harder and harder. Just because we wanted to do boats but I think we're leaning more towards land and beach and theme park. We'll see. But beach. It will entail beach on the East Coast somewhere, I think. So we'll see.
Beach, beach, beach. I'm all for that. So
Beach.
Hi.
Anyway.
Good morning. 15 minutes later, I'm Mindi of Mindi with my sidekick.
I'm Erica with Love, Joy, and Sprinkles.
Yes. And so today...
Sorry, I have this itch in my eye. Right. That just started as we went to get on.
Might have been so bad. So bad. So many chemicals, so much dirt, so much wind. Welcome to Kansas.
Mm-hmm. And then I've got the added fire, smoke from the many that are surrounding Arizona.
Yes, and we have that out. Yes,
you have to be getting some of that too, I bet.
Yeah, we have a couple of days, although not too much, enough to aggravate my lungs, but
yeah, mine is just that nose tickly, eye tickly, annoying thing. I can at least breathe, which I appreciate.
Yes, breathing is a good thing. A very good thing. So, don't know if anybody's noticed, but the world is still a little bit crazy. And, did I lose you? There you are.
Did you? I'm sorry.
Yeah, so, yeah. Me, I'm like, oh, hey, my keyboard's dusty. Squirrel.
Mm-hmm. Welcome to our table.
Yes. Crazy.
We are moms, but don't just talk about mom things and started it because we just met every Sunday morning to talk about things. Like we're sitting having coffee at a table. Like we used to sit at a table and have coffee after hiking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And even then the conversations kind of pinged. Different people would be holding different conversations and whatever. But yeah, the world's a little prickly, shall we say. And depending on how much you venture out into that world, whether it's with your keyboard or your own self, it's funny to me how people you can still perceive people's nastiness with a mask on. But anyway.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, craziness, unsettledness, lots of emotions, lots of collective emotions, lots of attempts at making everybody have the same emotions as well as the same opinions about things, and in my opinion, not enough people processing their own emotions as we go along. I don't know that I think that social media is the best way to process an emotion. I kind of think it's an internal, personal thing.
Yeah.
I think there are some people who tell their story and talk about their process, and people can identify and see themselves in those stories and those processes. But I don't think that's the majority of what's out there. That's not the algorithm in my life anyway, or my feed.
Yeah. I'm okay with sharing stories. I think it's through stories that we learn about whether it's struggles or joy, right? Either side that we don't know about that other people are dealing, or I don't want to say dealing with, because you don't deal with joy either. Experiencing. I think it's okay, because if not, you're isolated and you don't know about these things, right? And you can't try to uplift them or help celebrate with them. So I think social media puts a magnifier, whatever, magnifying lens, spotlight. I can speak, I swear. And on in a world where we all have a hard time processing our emotions and expressing our emotions, I think that's the big thing. Is, well, some people tell their story in a way that shares, there is the tendency to tell a story from that, like you said, that emotional. I think there's a difference in doing it. And the emotional sharing, if it's not done in a, I'm trying to use select my words carefully, because I don't want to say, like, even I don't even want to say if it's not done in a constructive way, I think, because I think that, but if it's done in not a careful way, tends to elevate, right? Because we talk about, I think in the last couple of weeks, we talked a lot about vibrational energy and energies. I think sharing emotions without sharing the story, or sharing emotions and not a, you know what I mean? It's like,
I think people,
you're putting that, you know what I mean? And then it escalates and it just grows, right? It's a snowball, right? Everybody throws all of that in, and it's like,
I think some people mistake emotions for facts.
okay. There you go.
I mean, I don't, that's just what comes to mind. Emotions and opinions both as fact, and I think personally they can be. Your opinion is your personal fact, is your personal truth, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it gets muddled out there. I don't know.
Well, because stories, right? If you're telling that story, encourage conversation and communication, and I'm trying to find a word and it's not coming to me, but that conversation is kind of the best word. It's not the right word, and it's not the one I'm trying to think of, especially, but it spurs conversation and contribution and progress.
Yes, I think stories bring about the opportunity to find similarities and unify. Whereas a lot of those emotions / opinions can be put out there to isolate and judge. And maybe not even to say you're wrong, but to say I'm right, without the consciousness that saying I'm right defaults to you're wrong. Right? Right, wrong, right. Language, what a crazy thing, right? So, chances are we aren't going to all completely cold turkey give up social media. And even if you do, you may catch mainstream media. Still not really a solution. So what I was thinking about talking about today, now that we're halfway through, was talking about healing with your hands and tuning into feelings and emotions and the somatic experience of allowing your body to do the processing. So sometimes our brains get in the way of our emotions because our ego and our stories will either have us hang on to something that's not serving us, or just complicate things. I don't know, maybe it's just me and my brain and its complications, but our body is wise, and I think that there are ways to allow it to continue to be wise on our behalf. And one of the ways that I do that is through Jin Shin Jyutsu. Jin, not as in what you drink, Jin, shin, like your bone, jitsu, like an art form. So,
the cat's coming back.
Jin Shin Jyutsu. So,
Jin Shin Jyutsu.
Yeah, Jin Shin Jyutsu. I know
Okay,
it's backwards.
Lay down. Lay. Sorry.
By the way, cats and dogs love this stuff too. Just like Reiki, they love the energy. And so I don't know.
Oh, maybe that's why she never does this.
Yeah.
I mean, on Sundays, she never does this in front.
So, while I am not a certified teacher of Jin Shin Jyutsu, I am a certified practitioner. And so I share this with you as if we are in a private session for you to glean a little knowledge and to maybe have something to help yourself with. Each one of the fingers has an emotion associated with it. And you can probably see all my scribbles, but
worry.
Worry is for your thumb. Fear is for your first finger. Anger, appropriately, is the middle finger. Sadness is the ring finger, and the pinky is trying to, which is stress.
Oh. Now I've got both of them in front of me.
So worry fast is kind of the acronym for you to remember what's going on. So worry, FAST, fear, anger, sadness.
Doesn't matter which hand.
Doesn't matter which hands. They're the same.
Worry, fast.
Worry, fear, anger, sadness, trying to.
Worry, fear.
So
fast. Anger. Always remember anger. Sadness. Right. Okay. Let's say I almost skipped it.
You can remember anger.
Worry, fear, anger, sadness, trying to. And there'll be a quiz later. I'm sure. Later.
We'll be giving out no punch brownies to the winner.
Oh, I've not tried those raspberry brownies yet.
Oh.
Ow! Stop.
So,
why are you braiding me? Stop it.
In Jin Shin, we practice body reading, which is a whole other art. But I'll just put this out there. Make myself vulnerable. So if you ever make a fist and you notice any pronouncements, like this has actually gone down in my life. So different people will have a different fist.
I'm too low. Sorry.
But
it's not gonna work.
Yeah. So this is something that I worked on for a very long time. There we go. We lost you for a second. So this is anger, middle finger. And the way to balance that emotion, whichever you're feeling, is to simply hold the finger associated with that emotion. So if you are stressed to the gills, you're in the middle of a Zoom meeting that you're like, dude, this meeting needs to be done because I have 14 reports due by noon and it's 11:37. While you're sitting and listening and being so patient and watching the clock tick away, hold your pinky. Now, I know we've all seen somebody that has a really crooked pinky. They might be somebody who is stressed quite frequently. You can actually help to straighten your pinky. I know it sounds really weird, but by holding it.
Is there a special way to hold it? Or just
Nope.
literally hold it?
Literally hold it, and whichever side you gravitate towards is the right one. Your body is wise. You will choose correctly. If your ego gets in the way and you get all anxious and you're like, I need to do both sides. Fabulous. Do both sides. Like it's really, it's an art. And it's not because it's not a science. There is science that you can study and you can research about this. But they talk about it like an art because that allows for the mystical, right? It allows for personal expression. It allows for the spiritual third, the not black and white, but the gray in between. So anyway, back to emotions. Hold the one associated with the fear or with the fear. Apparently I need to hold my first finger.
With what you're feeling. So
with the emotion that you're feeling or close to what you're feeling. If you're like, it's just everything, hold the middle of your hand, hold the palm right in the middle. So this
just like
is,
this?
Yep. So the middle is all inclusive, or your umbilicus flow. So if you think about, this is your personal center, your beginning of life, your umbilical cord, right? Where everything comes together and everything was nourished. If you are a Christian, you will know about Christ being pierced here. We know historically he was pierced here because this would not hold a body, right? But why would they say, if he was not pierced here, that he was pierced here? This is the beginning of life. This is the core. This is the center. This is your first breath, right? Your umbilicus, your diaphragm. So if you are having a hard time going to sleep at night, you can hold here. I remember a specific period in my life that Erica lived through with me where I laid in bed every night with jumper cabling the centers of my hands. You can also hold your thumbs if you're struggling to sleep. You know, you've got that lizard brain, monkey mind. You're worrying, you're making lists or whatever. Hold your thumb. Breastfeeding moms. If you are struggling with your milk supply, or you're not struggling with your milk supply, but you're breastfeeding, you can hold your baby and hold your middle finger. Because I think as mamas, the last thing that we want to pass through breast milk is anger, right? There are other reasons why you would hold this for your breast milk supply, but that is just one I use quite frequently, or used quite frequently for my very, very long breastfeeding journey, was to hold. And that's also why my knuckle is not as pronounced, because I would hold these on a regular basis. Sadness, your ring finger, is also associated with your lungs and large intestine. So besides emotions, they're tied, like I said, this is umbilicus or diaphragm. They're tied to organs in your body. Different organs hold different emotions, like your liver holds anger, the anger of revenge, in your middle finger. But for sadness, your ring finger is also associated with your lungs. So if you're ever struggling to breathe, if you have asthma, you're dealing with some respiratory virus or something like that, you can hold your ring finger. You can also use your thumb to jumper cable your fingernail. Like if you're walking or running or doing exercise and you're finding yourself struggling with breath, this is easier.
I remember
to
you used to tell me to do this when we were hiking.
Yeah, so that can help you support your lungs, which will support your breathing. Right? This is not, I'm not a doctor, I'm not prescribing, I'm not diagnosing, I'm not telling you don't use an inhaler if you can't breathe. If you have an inhaler and you need to use an inhaler, use an inhaler. But maybe do this while you use your inhaler. I don't know, I'm that kind of crazy girl. Speaking of breathing, there's actually, they're called mudras. I think of it as like prayer hands with purpose. There are different ways to hold your fingers while you're doing like a series of 4 breaths per hold that can be seen as like a meditation or a prayer, a mindfulness exercise, a way to support all of your body. Because if you go through a series of holding all of your fingers, then you would be supporting all of the different emotions, all of the different organs. And so that might be a practice that's interesting to you. If you, it should still be there. If you go to my website and subscribe.
I was just thinking about that because I know you did a series. Is it on your YouTube page or was it on a different page?
It is a Breathe With Me 10-day challenge that you get for free for signing up to my email list. So,
I used to do some of those with when I do my feet up on a wall. I do some of those.
Yep, because breathing is a good thing. And it's a good way to move things through your body. It does more than move oxygen and carbon dioxide around in your body, right? It can literally move emotions out of your body. So yeah, 30 minutes right on the nose. I haven't checked to see if anyone had questions.
I am in the wrong channel. So
I don't see any questions.
That makes it hard. No, I am on the right. I don't see any questions, although I have it paused. So
if you're watching this later and you have questions, post them in the comments and I will get to them in due time. Do you, Auntie Kirka, have questions? Because I know this is not completely new to you, but
no, but I always find it interesting. And I don't always have questions right at the beginning, which is bad for being live. I always come back later and go, oh, is this right? Or, okay, well, what's this for?
One public service announcement, which again is not a diagnosis or what have you, but it is a little bit of emergency care self-help. So trying to stress. A lot of times stress will cause heart problems, heart attacks. Jumper cabling the pinky is a good idea, in my opinion, not maybe necessarily in yours, if the person experiencing the stress is not able to hold their own pinkies. You are able to hold their pinkies. Hold their pinkies. Hold a pinky, hold both pinkies, whatever. The beautiful and mystical thing about prevention and preventative measures is that we don't get to know the full extent. So, I mean, sometimes a medical doctor could say, you know, you experienced this out of a heart attack, but you don't have that much damage. How they know that, I don't really know because I'm not a medical doctor, but you know, this could be one of those things that brings back an unexpected results. Let's put it that way. So,
and a good time, I think, to do some of these things is, like I said, when I do feet up on the wall, I do them sometimes, or like when you're meditating, right? You have that minute, and it helps to kind of, unless you're doing specific things during your meditation anyway with your hands, if you're using beads, if you're using whatever. If you need something to do with your hands and you're always trying to figure it out, this is a good opportunity to do those things, support those areas where you may be feeling it, right? If you're feeling a lot of anger at that moment. And I think there's a lot of, you know, in terms of what you're saying, there's a lot of value in, you know, your body holding, right? Assisting your body and releasing some of those things that it's holding in. I know one of the books that I want to read is The Body Keeps the Score, which talks about the trauma in your body. It's something that I'm working through with my practitioners, the trauma that's being held in my cells, in my muscles, in my tissues from past that you don't realize that may be coming up. So if there's things that you're working on, you know, talk to your practitioners and see, especially if it's therapists, counselors, see if that might help. And definitely while you're meditating, I think that's an opportunity for you to utilize that if you're looking for a pose or you're looking for something to kind of help guide you through that. It can be very centering too, I find, right? If you're meditating and you're having a hard time centering, I think, okay, well, then use your pinky then, right? You know, use that to help center and bring you into, or if you're meditating around a specific, I don't want to say issue, theme, topic, you could be meditating about something good that's happening.
Yeah.
That's why I don't want to say issue, right?
Right.
You could be meditating and thinking about something happy that's happening. So you can utilize that, help you along.
And speaking of practitioners, I do know that the Jin Shin Jyutsu Center in the US is in Scottsdale, Arizona, and they have started opening this coming week to clients. If you are not in that area and want to find a practitioner, I can assist with that as well. Just leave a comment. If you're in Northwest Kansas and you want a session, I can with that. If you are not in any of those places, but would like some assistance with emotions, I can assist with Reiki, distance, no matter where you are. And if you're interested in some healing that includes not only emotions, but the nutrition and physical aspects of what emotions do in and with our bodies, Auntie Kirka and I can help with that as well. Because this next week, well, for the next 10 days, starting tomorrow, we are doing a 10-day detox. And it always is amazing to me what emotions come up when I remove certain foods.
This is true.
Even though I've been doing it for years.
Well, I think sometimes what I like about this program is there are guidelines and you can follow them all. You can follow only a couple, depending on what you want to work on. And if there is certain emotional aspects you're trying to work on, you can pinpoint, right? Because as you said, different things can affect your body in different ways. You can focus on those things to work it into your overall lifestyle and what you're working on too. Or you can go through, use all of them. I have a couple of times gone full out and done all 10 guidelines. Not always. Depends on what you have going on. But they're meant to make lifestyle changes, not, and like you said, repair and reset, and not, and it's 10 days. It's not meant to be, all right, now do this for the next 6-10 months, right? So make 10 days. It's one weekend.
And it's a start and it's a learning process. Like I said, I'm always amazed at the emotions that come up, and I didn't think I was an emotional eater. I mean, every once in a while and whatever, but like, no, a lot, all the time, probably every day. And so I learned a lot about myself that way, and I continue to learn a lot about myself, and I'm excited to embrace these next 10 days.
And we have an awesome group that supports.
Yes.
Such an awesome group.
That helps more than I thought, because I'm not a group work type of girl. Like, I hated that in school. Was never good at sports, so I was not the team player. But man, this community, wouldn't trade them anything. So
let us know if you have any questions.
Yes. Next week, is there a tournament next week, or are we around next week?
No, we are around next week. We don't have a tournament because we are not going to California. So we do not have a tournament for a month, but we may start going out on Sunday mornings to prepare for that tournament. So I just may be in my car a couple of times so that I can get outdoors, because it's finally starting to cool down. Today it's still a little bit warm because it'll be 80 it was 80 at 7 a.m. and estimated to be 90 by 9 a.m. So no, I guess it was 78, 75. Anyway, it was still a little warm this morning. So in about 2 weeks we'll start going out. But it's cooling down. 75, 80 at 7 a.m. is better than 90 at 7 a.m. So in 2 weeks we should be down to like 65, 70 at 7 a.m. So we're gonna start going out a little bit in the morning, but I'll just be in the car in the desert. I'm showing some great landscapes out there.
Good.
And yeah, but yeah, our next one's not for another month, so we should be good.
So we'll see what we have up our sleeves and on the table next week.
Okay.
Till then, take care.
Have a wonderful week.
Bye.
Bye.